Thanks for coming. Later today, an auction on eBay on my site, or area, or whatever you call it, called Commodore Treasures, will come to an end. This is not a Commodore treasure. It is another treasure of sorts. It is a Heath Zenith, which basically means HeathKit, microcomputer learning system. And I think part of the project, at least when these things were first gotten for schools, would be to put it together, because of course HeathKit typically was a kit that had to be assembled, and who knows, maybe the first students, part of their market was on how well they put it together and if this thing worked. I'm not terribly familiar with this thing. I did not ever see it in my school. I'm not sure exactly from when it originated, but it reminds me in some ways of like a Kim kind of a thing, although, I mean, obviously they're very different. But this has a hexadecimal keyboard, a tiny little display. It has some RAM. Oh, by the way, this is a model 3400 series. It has, well, let's see what it has here. It has, and I mean, it's all spelled out in here, so you know what's needed. It has ROM, a key buffer, which I'm assuming is RAM of sorts. It has other RAM over here. It has data I/O, control buffers, address buffers, binary data, and various ports and things to stick things into, including a little, quite literally, kind of bread bin here. Anyway, I've turned this on. It comes up and it says CPU up. I think that's what it says. Anyway, it seems fine. I type things in. It does things. I do not have the book. I do not have the manual. I do not have other things to go with it. But I've seen these things online. And there are people who seem to find them to be highly prized. And I can see why. Because, I mean, this is sort of going back to another time. Now, looking at the main chip here, it's an MC6808P, which I guess means it's like a, well, the SuperPad board that I have up also for sale is a 6809. So anyway, this is an early microcomputer learning system, and I suppose that is what it was for. And I'm sure many people out there who are now well into their IT careers, or maybe even retired from their IT careers, may have first been exposed, well, I'd like to think they were first exposed to computers with their Commodore 64, or their PET, or their VIC-20. But there are maybe there are people out there who they headed into their technology class, or whatever they called it back then, and this was how it all began. It wasn't for me. I first started on a PET with a data set. But these things are a part of history. So if you're at all interested, I think the auction ends tonight. There is no reserve, and I will ship safely and promptly, very promptly. Anyway, thanks for being here. It is always much appreciated, and I do hope that this will go to a good home of a collector from somewhere in the world. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about that. So thank you very much for being here. Happy bidding. Bye for now.